Right, let's see what this uh, reduced stream delay does.
It's starting, I guess, right now.
Yeah, it might take a bit longer to load because it has to buffer more, probably. Because of the reduced delay.
I think there's about 5 seconds delay.
Yeah, I'm not sure how much yet, but let's go in game. Let's find out.
If you can say something right now, I will say when it's coming up.
I'm counting. It was like 13 seconds, 12, 13. So.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, so what I'm going to show you first is the private. So you start with the military police. You should see the guy in a couple of seconds.
Here he is, yeah.
Exactly. So this guy is it's like, this is your first rank in the military police. You become a private. So as soon as you've gone through the application, then you become a private and you join these guys. As you can see, the beret, it's like the official beret of the Australian military police. So I thought that would be fitting.
Is it also a officer rank, the beret?
No, it's just a beret that fits with the regiment.
Okay.
So
it's not assigned to a rank?
No, it's not assigned to a rank. It's assigned to the regiment itself.
Okay.
So then you got the vehicles that you see behind the guy over there. These vehicles are the Land Rovers that you start with. So what I have to do is I have to retexture these, put MP on the sides, make sure it looks like military vehicles. It already does, but I thought it would be suiting for Australia.
Yeah, it looks nice. Especially for the terrain. It's an off-road.
Yeah, exactly. But this guy starts with, what is it, MP5 or something? Yeah, it looks like an MP5. I'm not even sure.
Yeah, it's an MP5.
So, okay, I'm going to the next rank.
And those off-roads are also usable by the officers? Like the lowest rank vehicle?
Yeah, so basically every time you get to a next rank, you get additional vehicles. So you can still use the lower ones, but you basically always want the ones that come with the higher grade because they're more cool.
Yeah, exactly.
So then what we see here is specialist. The specialist, he has a couple of cars in the back, those black ones. He gets a hunter without a GMG or HMG on the top. So there's no armed vehicles till you get to the rank of sergeant. So as a specialist, the black vehicles need to be retextured a little bit to put MP on the sides. You also get this crazy, I don't know what it is, 4x4, but you can extend the ladders on the top. And you can put it up so that you can actually drop people off on a building, for example, or over a wall or something like that.
Like a lift, some sort of vehicle.
Yeah, you can you can raise that part in the front, and then you can extend it like ladders, and that way you can actually put people on top of a building or something.
And is it also working while you're on top of it? Can you stay on top of it while it's moving?
Yeah, so these guys who are sitting like that, they're like sitting in seats. So they're actually sitting inside of the vehicle, outside of it.
Okay, so like on top of there is also just like a back seat.
Yeah, the guys who you see sitting are sitting in the back seat, or so to say.
Okay, yeah, exactly. And when when you get out the back seat, you're still standing on top of the platform, or are you trying to?
Yeah, then you can walk over it, so you can walk over the ladders onto a building.
Okay, and can you also walk over the platform while it's raising?
I haven't tested that yet.
Okay.
Knowing Arma, I don't dare to give you an answer on that one. I don't dare to assume anything.
Yeah, exactly. But it's a nice mod for
Yeah, and the part I did test works pretty nicely. So you can raise the ladder and you can extend it. And I think people will have to stay in their seats till that moment. You're still able to shoot, so if anything happens, you should be good. I think it should work. If it doesn't work, then we'll take it out. But the part I've tested so far worked good. So
nice.
All right. So let's move over to the. So first, you started out as a private, then you become a specialist. This is corporal. So the corporal gets a police interceptor. The Lambo gets a boat. So this is like your entrance into the Coast Guard, and the 2 helicopters in the back. It's like what is it?
Nice.
It's like a bell in a Huey.
Yeah, and actually, like the lower ranks, do they also have choppers or?
Well, this is where you get your first chopper. So you have to rank up to corporal, and then you get your first helicopter. You're still in the military police, so that's why you get the police helicopters. But everything that says police at the moment has to be retextured to MP.
Yeah, exactly.
And this guy also gets a better weapon. So every time you rank up, you get better weapons. You get so, for example, this guy has a silencer, and the specialist also has a silencer. But as a recruit, you start out as a rookie. You get the basic stuff, and first you have to prove yourself that you know how to RP, and how to do your work. And then you can rank up.
Yeah, nice.
So that's basically the guys with the berets. What we see now is the guys during working time when they're on duty.
Okay, and all those units together are all the ranks of the cop force?
These guys, the one in the front is like the corporal you saw in the back, so the highest ranked police officer. The guy behind him is the specialist, and the guy in the back is the private. So this is where you can see the difference in the weapons, their gear. So the first 2 ranks have the police cap. The 3rd rank gets a boonie hat. It also says police. And
yeah, exactly. That's nice.
You can see the weapons that, they all get their own weapons, and each one is a bit cooler.
Yeah, exactly. And about the weapons, when you start off as your first rank as the officer, do you only are you only allowed to use the MP5, or are there more weapons in use for you?
I'm not sure yet, because there's a ton of weapons. I'll show you that after this, but this is some of the basic gear. So when you see vehicles, for example, there might be even more vehicles with other textures and everything, but this is just a showcase, just to give you an impression. So it doesn't necessarily mean that this is the loadout that they're going to use in the end, or that this is the only loadout they will have. But this is the idea so far. So, but any suggestions are welcome. So,
this is just one of the options of the loadout they are getting.
Yeah, well, the basic idea behind it is that they should be uniformed in the same way, so that you can recognize police officers, or like military police in this case, commandos and Air Force and that sort of stuff. You should be able to recognize that, but they should still have several options where it comes to weapons, etc.
And hats.
But it also depends on the operation. But you'll see that with the next regiment. Yeah,
okay.
So,
all right.
You should see this in a couple of seconds. I'm now moving over to the Air Force. As you can see, they get a lot of helicopters. So this is your first step into, once you rank up to sergeant. So with the police, we had the privates, the specialists, and the corporals. And once you rank up to sergeant, you get join the Air Force. You get all these extra helicopters. This is what the guys look during an operation. The guys you see in the front. And then the guys behind that are, again, the guys with the regiment berets. They got night visions on, so not able to see it very well. You should see it in a few seconds, but it's the right beret with the right regiment.
Yeah, okay. So when you reach the sergeant rank, you actually become more of a military special police officer.
Yeah, exactly. So if the police doesn't gets in a situation and needs to call somebody, they call the Air Force. And the Air Force comes in with a helicopter and drops guys off who actually look like the military. So it's not like the normal role for the Air Force, but I had to come up with a way to structure everything and to. I had a lot of berets and stuff, for the right regiments. So that's why I came up with these ideas. So first you start out in the military police as a private. So you skip the level of recruit, because once you get through the application on the forums and on TeamSpeak, and you get to be whitelisted to play on the Army side, then you automatically become a private. So from there you go through specialist and corporal, and then from there you go to the Air Force. After the Air Force, you can join the airborne. So you get to jump from helicopters and planes with parachutes. Then after the airborne, you join Spec Ops. So that's where you start to get more cool stuff with vehicles that can blow shit up, and helicopters with guns and rockets on it. Then after Spec Ops, you go to Spec Ops support. So they get all the fancy planes and fighter jets and tanks and that sort of stuff. And after Spec Ops support, there's even a senior regiment, which is the 1st Commando Regiment, another actual Australian regiment. That way I've separated everything into separate regiments, and with the ranks and everything, you can go through them and earn more stuff.
All right, sounds nice. Is there also going to be in terms of grenades, do they get like gas grenades? Is there a mod for that, like flashbangs or anything like that? Yeah,
normally in Altis Life you already have flashbangs, but you use normal grenades for that. But I already have like real flashbangs, so they don't look like grenades. They are like flashbangs, and that's probably just for the military police. The Army probably gets to use grenades, more the heavier stuff. So if you look at this guy, for example, he's a team leader or a squad leader. He's a sergeant, so he can actually take the military police out for patrol. And if he does that, I'm not sure yet. Maybe they have to dress to the rank they are supporting, so that they look as one group, because it looks a bit weird if one guy from the Air Force is, leading a team of military police, for example.
Hello?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Oh, okay, okay. I thought you lost. All right, yeah, that's nice. And what else? Is there something else you can show me?
Yeah, sure. So these guys also get the Ghost Hawks, custom ones, of course. You got a cargo one. There's another one which looks like a cargo one but isn't.
Okay, yeah.
By the way, the guys inside are
pretty nice. You can load on the Black Hawk. You can load a crate to it.
Yeah, that's true. That's the cargo one. There are like 3 editions, and one is cargo one. The other one is one for personnel only. As you can see on the inside, that all the guys in these vehicles already have the gear and everything from this regiment.
Yeah. And what are those crates used for? Like
it could be like ammo boxes, for example, but I'm not sure if they're going to be used, but we can probably find a use for them.
Yeah, exactly. It would be nice. It's a nice feature from the choppers, so
yeah, exactly. So, and once you get these helicopters, with the guns in it and everything, you know how the rules apply for the Army, that you don't go around just to shoot civilians and everything, because we need a lot of strict rules on that. Otherwise, people are just going to go around and shoot civilians with tanks and everything. And that's why you have to rank up pretty high to get those kind of vehicles. So that if you see somebody driving around in a tank, it's like a brigadier general, for example. That person should really get banned.
Yeah, most of the time you don't see any rank from sergeant or higher patrolling the area, right? They're only sent for special tasks or operations.
Yeah, it depends, on the amount of people on the server, of course. So that's also why I'm thinking of maybe dressing them down to the lowest rank. So if you have like one guy from the Air Force and you got 4 MPs, then that the guy from the Air Force has to dress as an MP in the highest rank, of course, to squad lead or team lead the MPs.
Yeah, exactly.
That's just an idea, you know. As you can see with these guys, there's a difference between the team leader and the squad leader, and the other guys, the regular infantrymen. They can be the same rank, but the M203 shows a difference there.
Yeah.
Okay, so after the Air Force, you get to join the Airborne. So when you get to the Airborne, you're a Master Sergeant. There are 2 ranks in the Airborne. That's Master Sergeant and Command Sergeant Major. So as you can see, these guys look pretty badass. They got, I believe they even have kangaroos in the back of their helmets. Yeah, they do. It also says second calf. But this is like the actual Australian Airborne, you know. This is their gear, their weapons, everything.
Ah, okay, yeah, that's nice.
Exactly.
I see the kangaroo now.
And then there's also the guy with the beret, again, of course, with the official beret. I'm not sure if it's the right beret for his rank, but it's the actual beret of the regiment, so I thought that was cool.
Yeah, exactly. Looks nice.
Yeah, it looks pretty good, right?
And what rank is this again?
This is Master Sergeant.
Okay, and then that comes after Sergeant.
Yeah, exactly. So first you, in the Air Force, you're a Sergeant. Then when you get to join the Airborne, you become a Master Sergeant. And then in the next rank, also in the Airborne, is Command Sergeant Major. And you get a couple of vehicles. These are your first vehicles with guns on top. So one with the HMG and one with the GMG. And then you got the Land Rover over here. As you can see, I put the guys inside with the right uniforms and everything already, just for the showcase.
Yeah, that's nice.
That's also a nice Land Rover, you know, and I thought it'd be a nice vehicle for Airborne. And it fits Australia well.
Mm-hmm. It does.
Also, these 2 helicopters in the back, they also get those, so they can actually jump from something.
Oh, all right.
So I thought that'd be, nice, since you're joining the Airborne. It should include a couple of helicopters.
Yeah. Those are actually choppers who are in use of the Australian force. I
believe these 2 are RAF, so the British Air Force, but yeah, there's some similarity there. So, and a lot of this stuff still needs retexturing anyway.
Yep.
So this guy is the Command Sergeant Major. He has a golden horse with a knight on it, as you can see.
Yeah, that's nice.
And he has a bit of a bigger gun. Get some more cool stuff. And then he also gets these vehicles in the back with the kangaroo on them.
Yeah. Is that just
actual
the
names?
MX, or what is it?
The vehicle itself? The Vic?
No, the weapon.
No, it's from one of the mods.
Oh, okay.
I believe. Maybe it is. Maybe it is vanilla. But I believe it's from one of the mods. I'm not sure.
Okay.
So these guys, there's a lot of details on the textures over here. Uniforms all add up. The vehicles add up where it comes to texturing.
Yeah.
And this guy also gets the first Chinooks. Black one and a green one. Both from the RAF.
Transport.
Yeah, and as you can see, they now get like they get heavier weapons. They get more weapons and vehicles, that sort of stuff. And that started over here with Master Sergeant. Where you get your first fix with guns on them. Then as a Command Sergeant Major, you get like heavier weapons and 2 Chinooks.
Yeah. The Black Hawk already has weapons on it, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
As you can see, these guys they look really badass in my opinion. If you look at what the team looks like.
And is the Chinook the same as the Black Hawk in terms of the cargo one?
I'm not sure about if you can load cargo into it. I haven't tried it out. I do have a plane which I'm sure about, the C-17. So this is this is all of the Airborne. Once you've ranked up through the Airborne, you go to the Air Force, or you go to the Spec Ops. So this is where you become an actual commando.
All right.
And these guys are called in for the tactical stuff, from here on. So these are the guys who normally don't do patrols unless it's some area where it's really, really dangerous with a triple curfew.
Yeah, exactly.
They also get some jackals, which look pretty good. One of them is an L2A1 on it, and the other one is a GMG, I believe. Yeah, okay. GMG. So this is pretty cool. We got another 50 or 30 cal. Looks like 50 cal in front with in the passenger seat.
Oh, nice. Nice vehicles.
Yeah, definitely.
They look badass.
Yeah, they totally do. Yeah, I like the textures in these. As you can see with the next vehicles I'm showing you, they got even more textures, which look really badass.
Oh yeah, that's nice.
So here we go. This first one was called Rhino. This one is called Shark,
yeah, like the one with
or Jaws.
With the Jaws, yeah.
It's got booty on it.
I would be pissing my pants if one of those would face me as a Civ.
Yeah, probably. But normally as a Civ, you don't get to see these. You might get to see them rolling around. But they normally, the army doesn't get to shoot civilians.
Yeah, exactly. They only,
that's just RDM, and the rules for the army are even stricter than for civilians, probably.
Yeah, exactly.
Because we can only have people driving around in these on a live server if they stick to the rules. If they metagame or just go around in RDM, I think those people shouldn't be welcome.
Those heavy vehicles are mostly in use against highly rebel.
Rebels, etc. And it's like, the rebels are the terrorists in the eyes of the government. So only with special operations, events that have been planned in advance, that sort of stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
So they also get the first vehicle or the first helicopters with guns and rockets on them.
The ponies, right?
Yeah, these are the ponies, the little birds. I'll show you the textures for a bit. I mean, these textures there's a lot of detail put into them.
They look really nice, yeah.
Just makes me shut up looking at them.
Yeah.
Yeah, these look really good.
Exactly. I like the brown one with the horses.
The white one is probably my favorite. And if you look at these guys, I mean, the textures are awesome, and the guys inside the helicopters. If you look at the personnel, there's so much detail in the textures.
Yeah, exactly.
That if you see a squad moving, then this is like the first squad where everybody can just choose their own weapons, their own gear, that fits with their role, of course.
Yeah.
But they have a lot of gear that has their own textures and everything.
I love the way that there's a lot of detail on each rank of the police force, like in terms of uniforms, vehicles, like every aspect of what they can do and can get.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's so. This way you really incentivize people to you give them a good reason to want to rank up. And if you want to rank up, you have to follow the rules of the army. You have to know what to do, what kind of weapons you can use, when you can and can't use them, and that's why you start out with a really small gun. And if you fuck up over there, then you get kicked out of the army, and maybe you can stay a civilian, maybe you get banned off the server. It really depends on what your crime against the server was. But in general, it should teach people how to be a good soldier, how to help other people, how to help civilians, because basically you're still policing the island.
Yeah, exactly.
And you're fighting against rebels during events mostly. because normally you could be, for example, protecting a checkpoint or doing other kind of basic stuff, but it's not like you go out and fight the rebels all of the time.
Yeah.
It's like the rebels have their side of the island, the army has their own side, and yeah, that's basically it. Unless you have events or special operations, or if you have like both of the presidents online, and they agree to doing an operation for or something like that.
Yeah, it's nice.
So then, these are basically the helicopters. There's also a bunch of UEs, also with just a passenger version. There's one with a big ass, I don't know, 30 cal, I guess. A bunch of rockets on it. And then there's another one with a ton of missiles.
Yeah, nice.
So yeah, that's Spec Ops. It's like your first step to being a commando.
All right.
So
and
this is the rank for this is captain. This is the SAS. And to join the SAS, you have to become a captain. So that's after you've been a command sergeant major with the airborne.
Yeah.
I've skipped a couple of ranks, by the way, but that's because you'd have like too many ranks otherwise. This is already there are already a ton of ranks in here, so it only gets more confusing.
The most detail and the most.
I've just from everything I could have I found over the last couple of weeks. I just put everything together. I sorted everything, and I figured that these would probably be the best to add to the server.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I want to make sure there's a lot of detail put into it.
And the ones we're looking at right now, is this the SAS or?
Yeah, this is the SAS, so these are the commandos.
Okay. And this is the highest rank of the police?
No, it's not police. Only the first faction you saw in the beginning.
This is like the army kind of aspect.
Yeah, so these are all the sections or all the regiments, and you can see the military police as their own regiment. You will see that in a second. It's all the way in the right. And then you get to the Air Force, which is like the second section on the map with vehicles. Then you get to the Airborne, etc. So the military police is only like the first regiment. And after you've... so you're already a soldier if you're in the military police. It's just another branch of the military. Then you get to join the Air Force, Airborne.
All right.
Then the Spec Ops. So yeah, I just showed you the Spec Ops. Then you get to Spec Ops support. So that means even more guns, weapons, vehicles, guns and weapons. Yeah, guns and gear, etc. As you've had before. So these are basically using the same gear as the Spec Ops. They only get like more guns. Maybe I should give them like cooler night vision, that sort of stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh wait, I'm looking at Spec Ops. Never mind me. Here we go. This is Spec Ops support. So this is another actual regiment. I believe it's called the Special Operation Engineering Regiment, if I'm correct. Please don't shoot me if I'm not. And they get even more cool weapons, gear, etc. And they got their own berets. So these are the actual SOER berets.
Mm-hmm. And I think they're like, are there more like HQs or offices for type of rank? Do they have their own PD or something like that?
There is an army HQ, which is like the general HQ. So the island is divided into two, into the east and the west. And the army HQ is on the east side of the map, together with all the army bases. And then on the left side, on the west side of the map, you have the rebel bases and the HQ. And on the army side of the island, there's also a forward operating base. So if they want to, where the Federal Reserve also is, so if they want to go into enemy territory, then they will probably operate from there. and it will probably be have to be protected permanently because the Federal Reserve is also over there. But it's right behind the wall, so if the rebels fly over the wall, they can fly straight into the FOB.
All right.
And there might be some more officers, but right now I think we got enough stuff.
Yeah, exactly. But like, is there going to be like a police department for like the officers and the corporals?
Yeah, so you have the normal police stations, the normal PDs at the moment, and they are going to be for the military police. So I want to retexture the signs that say police into MP or military police.
Yeah.
And
it fits the base.
Yeah, exactly.
And after the officers and corporal, is there going to be like an airborne base or something for the airborne and the?
Yeah, maybe. There's a lot of military bases on the island, and I think it should be. I think it should be possible to do that. That's a good idea. I hadn't even thought of that myself. So.
Okay.
That'd be cool, yeah. So they can all have either spawn at HQ or on their own base.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And when you rank up, you get like an extra spawn point. Like that, right?
Yeah, I think you should get like the other spawn point instead of the one you had. So you can, so that you can always spawn at HQ, but that you also get the right spawn point that belongs to your rank.
Yeah, exactly. So if you need to, like, when you have the rank, when you achieve the rank of airborne, let's say that you can spawn the airborne HQ, but
yeah, exactly.
Like if there's only like 2 officers online, you should help them out so you are able to spawn their PD as well.
Yeah, and everybody is always able to spawn at HQ, so you could meet over there, for example.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's in the middle of Sydney, or on the edge of town.
All right.
So these are the helicopters, or there's only one helicopter that comes with the rank for Major, with Spec Ops support. The Apache. I think it's pretty badass. And as you can see, you have to rank up. You have to be pretty high in order to get these kind of vehicles. You also get the Harriers. You get a bunch of Joint Strike Fighters, 2 C-130s, which are also British at the moment. So I have to retexture those.
The small one is the cargo one, is that right? With the cargo, isn't there?
Now you can put cargo in there also, but they're also like 20 or 30 passenger seats.
Yeah, okay.
And then in the back you see the C-17. It's probably my favorite plane in this game. It's not completely bug-free, but you can detach vehicles from it, from the rear. So you can
drop them down.
Yeah, exactly, with a parachute.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah, so if you detach a truck or a tank or a jeep or whatever, then a parachute will deploy. And so you can drop it out anywhere. You can drop it out. You can drop out special forces, for example, and their vehicles over enemy territory. That sort of stuff.
Yeah, exactly. And how do you load the vehicles in there? Do you need to drive them in, or?
Yeah, you open up the cargo doors, and then you drive them in. And then if you're in the driver's seat, you can scroll in the scroll menu to attach vehicles, and then you attach them, and you automatically jump out of the vehicle. So when you do that, always make sure to park them on the right side if you jump out on the left.
Yeah, exactly.
So this is a Spec Ops support. So if the special ops, the tactical op guys are having issues, they are basically calling in airstrikes, right?
Yeah.
That's why they have the F-35s, the Joint Strike Fighters, and the Harriers, and get the Apache, and also they get to be deployed by their higher ranks, who can organize missions, that sort of stuff for them. The guys who have already been Spec Ops themselves, who know how to do that sort of stuff, That's why that's why I also have the idea of all the ranks, so that it's clear to everybody how it works. If you've got somebody who is higher ranked, he probably knows what he's doing, because he's been there himself.
Yeah.
So, and you only get to these kind of ranks where you get these kind of weapons if you don't go around shooting civilians for no good reason.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, that's Spec Ops support. Let me move over to the senior regiment. These are the 1st Commandos. This is like the highest ranking military stuff for normal soldiers. After this, there is also the Republican Guard, but that's the presidential guard. So they are handpicked by the president. It's always just a small team to protect the president and the vice president. So these guys are the highest ranking military officers. If there's like a really high stake operation going on the highest level, the president will probably call in these guys. And as you can see, there's again a lot of detail put in onto all of the uniforms, the weapons, etc.
Yeah, it looks nice.
And same thing goes for the VICs. These are the actual berets of the first commando regiment.
And of course, they're using the best the best assault rifle there is.
These guys are getting the best weapons, the tanks, the crazy fighter planes, that sort of stuff.
Yeah, it's my number one gun there, holding the MK.
All right. So. Yeah, it's a great gun.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of texturing done on tanks and everything on the vehicles. So if you see guys driving around in these ones, then you know it's not just some random private going around shooting hobos.
No, exactly.
It's somebody who really knows what they're doing. So they still get to drive around in it, but they just don't get to shoot anybody.
Yeah.
They also get the helicopters with more helicopters with machine guns and missiles, also with really great texturing. So as the ones we've seen before, only now with missiles and machine guns.
Yes.
Same thing goes for the UEs. So there's a passenger UE, or maybe two, and the rest is all armed. Oh yeah, and there's also an Orca. The Orca is also armed. Also, there's a nice texture on it of an Orca.
Really nice.
Then some more UEs. This is just one for passengers. And the white one again, of course.
Yes.
I really like the gear of the pilots in the white one. For some reason, it looks pretty cool. Pretty Star Trooper kind of feeling to it.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh yeah, then there's the Ghost Dogs, because you were asking about Ghost Dogs earlier.
Mm-hmm.
These guys are textured pretty nicely. As you can see, we get the guy with the green beret again. Holding another nice rifle with the M203. So he's a team leader or a squad leader. But this is basically the highest rank in the army you can get.
Okay.
This is a brigadier general. So
really nice.
The previous rank is colonel. And then from a colonel you rank up to a brigadier general. And then you get you get these I wanted to say buffaloes, because a clan I used to play with always called these Buffalo 1 and 2.
Yeah.
But you get the Ghost Dogs. Or Black Hawk, or... Well, it's not actually Black Hawk, it's a Ghost Dog. So you get the Ghost Dogs. Also with some nice texturing.
Yeah, they look nice.
And then we got, what are these? Sterlings, right? No. They look like Mohawks, but there's a real life name for it. Merlins, I believe. If I'm correct.
Oh, yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong.
I think so, yeah.
Also got some pretty cool texturing on it.
Yeah. Looks sick.
Yeah, definitely. So if you see these guys flying around, you know what's up.
Yeah.
They're not just going to
get out there.
Yeah, they're not just going to patrol an area or check out a checkpoint. You know, if these guys are flown in, then you know something is going on.
Yeah, exactly.
Or the president might be visiting sometime soon, you know, so that they go in first, that sort of stuff.
They just escort him with it.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, we got two very cool Blackfoot, also with their own texturing.
Yeah.
Another white one. I always love the white ones. The white helicopters, for some reason.
I like that figurine.
Then we got the helicopter plane, the Osprey.
Yeah, that one is sick.
Yeah, definitely. It's really awesome. Also has some nice textures on it. Also,
I still have to figure out how to fly those things because.
Yeah, it's not easy. Yeah, you have to get used to it. I agree.
Yeah.
Then we got Raven 1 and 2. Not actually called. Sure, what kind of is this a T? No, I don't know. I'm not gonna guess. It's Raven 2 and Raven 1's over here. Also with some nice textures.
Yeah. The fuel bomb below.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Then we got the Warthogs, the last ones. First we got a Seahawk.
Yeah.
Then we got a digital camo one, the Sandhawk. Then we get the Icehawk, the white one.
And are all the vehicles and gear
and
for the army or police force, is it free? Like, is it paid by the government? Or?
No, it's not free. So you do get access to them, but you still have to buy them. So I'm also thinking of making one of the requirements to rank up that you have all of the vehicles.
Yeah, exactly.
But I'm not sure if that's doable. So because I want to make the prices a bit realistic, a bit more realistic too. So
yeah.
So that's basically all of the army. And then the army is being controlled by the general and general of the army. The general is the vice president, and the general of the army is the president himself.
Yeah, okay.
And we got him right over here with all the president's men.
Nice.
The president has a Marine one, the helicopter you can see on the left.
Yeah.
And then there's his presidential convoy just behind him.
Yeah.
With a bunch of guys with 50 cals on it. This is the presidential guard, so the Republican guard. They are handpicked by the president. It's only a few guys just to protect the president and the vice president.
All right.
You get really kick-ass vehicles to drive around in with 50 cals on the top. Already put a couple of presidential guards inside of them so you can get an idea of what it would look like in real life.
Yeah, exactly.
Quote unquote life. And the president will be sitting in one of these vehicles. The rest will be escorting him. These guys will probably be handpicked from the highest ranks to protect the president.
Yeah.
Then we have Marine One, which still has an American flag and the United States on the side of it, and the symbol of the president. So they might have to be retextured. So for now, the story goes that Obama bought a new chopper and gave this one to Australia.
Yeah. Exactly.
That's the cool thing with life, you can just come up with a story and it always makes sense,
Yeah.
I really had to get used to that, in the beginning. Just come up with some bullshit on the fly, and all these guys around me were coming up with stories, and I was like, how the hell do these guys do it? And at some point, you just get used. If somebody asks you a question, something weird, you just go like, well, back in the day, once upon a time.
Yeah.
So you can.
Shit. It's always right.
Yeah, exactly. So you can always recognize a president or a vice president by their golden AK and a golden Desert Eagle.
Oh shit!
And the same goes for the president and the rebel president on the other side of the island, or the rebel president and the rebel vice president.
Nice.
Yeah,
Lovely.
I think it looks pretty badass.
I like the ranking tree.
Yeah, you like it? Any suggestions so far?
Well, you actually blew my mind with the detail you put it into all the ranking, and
okay, cool.
I don't really
That's good.
know if I got some suggestions. I think you got them already.
Well, if you do have any, feel free to let me know.
Yeah, okay.
And if anybody else is watching this video, feel free to drop some comments on YouTube. You know, I'd love to take suggestions.
Put up the like button.
Exactly, put up the like button, hit subscribe, check out my other videos, my other playlists. There's a lot more stuff coming. I haven't been producing a lot of videos lately, mostly because I've been busy with work and also because I've been busy with doing a lot of server stuff on the back end. It's not a lot of fun to watch that, and it's just me noobing around to find out how everything works. So right now I got like a stable server. I got Task Force Radio going, I got the repo going, and now I just have to retexture a lot of these vehicles and put them back into the repo. And then in the meanwhile, people can already play on it. So right now it's vanilla for the most part. Yeah, we got all the basic stuff working there, so I think it should be good enough to go. Especially once we get this stuff added. Oh, I can also show you some civilian vehicles, by the way. We're not done yet.
Show me.
Let me show you the weapons first. We're not done by by far. Oh, you already know the small weapons, right?
Yeah, I do.
I can probably, let's see if this works. There's a lot of objects in this map, so it might lag a bit.
Oh, nice, the weapon cases.
Exactly, especially in the beginning when it's when it has to load everything. Might take a couple of seconds.
Yeah.
We get this annoying error in the screen. Oh, it's gone. Thank God.
Because of the editor.
Yeah, let's drop off this radio somewhere. As you can see, this is me, Mr. President. Right, let's open a couple of these boxes. Big balls, man. Let's start with this one.
Yeah.
I mean, look at the detail put into these weapons.
Yeah.
Look really awesome, and especially what you said earlier about sounds and everything that were all custom.
Yeah, exactly.
It's really cool.
The mod itself.
Yeah, exactly. Definitely. That's what I love about these kind of mods, you know, that there's so much detail put into it that it makes gameplay just more fun.
Yeah. The first weapon, that was an AR-15 or?
I don't know, to be honest.
Okay.
I don't know that much about weapons or vehicles.
Yeah, exactly.
I know some of them, and that's about it.
There you get the L85.
Just
31.
I'm just showcasing them by literally opening all the cases and showing them.
Yeah. Oh, the fourth one is actually the from the small weapon mod pack, the Tactical M4.
Okay.
It's really nice.
Yeah, these are all in the SMA pack.
Yeah. Nice AUG.
Yeah, they all look and sound very nicely. Yeah, I do know the Styrock. This is a Mark 18, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong. Got a bunch of those. Then we get another Styrock, I think. Yeah, they look pretty badass.
Yeah, they look sick. Is that just the TRG all there from the vanilla? The MP18, I see now.
None of these are vanilla. These are all from the SMA pack.
Oh, okay, yeah.
That's why they're also in the SMA cases.
Yeah, I think the TRG is actually a real life gun.
I think.
TRG from vanilla, because I saw it coming out up in a box.
Alright. Well, then we got a couple of launchers. Which are only used by high rank soldiers and high ranking rebels.
Yeah.
So not any soldier is running around with them.
Sexy.
Yeah, there's a lot of good stuff between them. A lot of nice toys. Now I'm going to move over to the rifles. Same thing probably goes for the rifles, for most of them at least, that lower ranked soldiers and rebels will not be able to buy them.
Yeah.
Maybe civilians will get like one of those rifles. Let's see.
Yeah, exactly.
The Lee Enfield, for example. Then we got
It would be nice if
a bunch of AKs.
maybe it would be nice if you make like a sort of like Federal Reserve, like a bank, but then a storage warehouse for the military with all the guns and shit.
Oh yeah, that they have to break in there to
exactly, and they can steal a crate or something.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Instead of a vault with money, a vault with a crate of guns, which you can actually in the end
that's doable.
move up to your house. Once you take it, that it will stay on the server forever, and you can just store it inside your house.
Yeah, that sounds doable.
Or in your rebel base, something like that.
Yeah. Yeah, we can definitely make that work.
Yeah.
So as you can see, we got more guns. We even have more guns. We got guns with M203s, guns with silencers. We got a shitload of scopes that I'll show you in a second. We got all different forms. Same gun. Just like the SMA pack we've seen in the beginning. Then some other guns. Probably cup weapons, these. Got some heavier machine guns.
Sexy.
Then we have a lot of scopes. In all forms, in all sizes. We got some bunch of nice custom lasers. Some silencers. And then we get to the weapons for the civilians. Which aren't too many. But the idea is, of course, that they have to buy the weapons directly from the rebels. So they get the MP5s. They get a Uzi. They get Scorpio. Scorpio it's called, I believe. And then they got a bunch of handguns. Some with silencers. So yeah, that's basically the weapon part. And then I still have to divide all of these among civilians, rebels, and the army.
And is there anything else you're working on? Like just different things that are gonna be put in the server?
Yeah.
Or...
I still have, now I'm going to show you the vehicles. Let's see. Got it in stuff, I think.
And is there also a part that's already for 100% finished server, or?
No, the server is in. Well, it's basically stable, so basically all the functions work.
Okay.
There's still a lot of stuff that needs to be added, like all of these vehicles. I just sorted out everything now, and
exactly.
So the next step is adding all of the vehicles for the army, the rebels, the civilians. So first, I'm going to do the civilians to make sure that when you start on the server, you always start as a civilian. So that's probably the highest priority now. And as soon as I've got that fixed, then I'm going to add all the army and the rebel stuff.
Yes.
So here first we got like 3 boats. A fishing boat, a small boat, which actually for some reason has police lights on it. But once you spawn it, they disappear. So we got a small rescue boat. Then we got second-hand cars. A bunch of shitty old cars. Which are the cheapest, so... If you start around, you actually start in Tasmania. And in Tasmania, you have to make enough money to buy the Australian passport. And once you have, so that's just another license. And once you've bought the Australian passport, then you can buy a boat and go to Australia.
That's really nice. So you're actually, when you're joining, you're an immigrant.
Yeah, exactly. Everybody's an immigrant that way. So that way you have to start out as a civilian, you have to make enough money to buy the Australian passport. You might get recruited by the army or rebels or a gang, for example, on the island, so they could sponsor you the money for the passport. In exchange for that, you will help them once they get you to Australia, for example.
Yes.
So you start out with a shitty car. You have to make some money with your shitty car in Tasmania. Once you get to Australia, you get to buy some decent cars, which aren't too expensive. You know, they aren't too fast. They drive reasonably. They look okay. Some need to be retextured a little bit, but most of them should work. In the editor, you sometimes see their suspension being really high, but once you load that into game, it all looks normal. So don't worry about that. And then we got all the European cars. So first I sorted French cars, Peugeots. Then after Peugeots, we got Renault. So, and then we get Citroën. So these are the French cars. Then we get to the German cars. So we got a couple of Volkswagens, a Golf and a Touareg. Then we go to the BMWs. This is a 1 Series, right? Yeah, 1 Series, M3, and M5. But the M5 doesn't look very well. So maybe we should find another one for this one. But normally the M5 drives pretty well. And we get the M6. So yeah, who needs an M5 when you got an M6? But then we got Mercedes. So first you got an older one, you got a CLK, and then you got a C63 AMG. Then we get to Audi. With some nice cars. And finally, limousine.
Yeah.
I mean, it's always good to drive around or get driven around in a limousine.
Yeah.
Then we got some Porsches. More German cars. Then we get to the race cars. Or no, wait, these are the muscle cars. These aren't even the race cars yet. So we got a couple of... I tried to line them out from like cheap to more expensive, but this is not the final order, so I might have mixed some things up a little bit. I've mostly sorted it from like okay to less cool.
Yeah.
And then we get a bunch of rally cars.
Oh, Ford GT. I love there's a big like a big choose of cars you can get.
Yeah, there's a lot of cars. Then we get to the more expensive ones, which start with Lexus. A lot of race cars.
Nice.
And by the way, every time you see a car, so you see a black one with a colored one next to it, it's like the same model, always in black, and then with a random colored car from the same model right next to it.
Yeah, exactly.
So there's more colors, etc. And these aren't even all the cars. These are just a couple. But I always use the black one and then put a randomly colored car of the same model next to it.
And I maybe have a suggestion for the SAS,
yeah, sure.
Just coming up in my head, like maybe because
this is the old layout. I have to go back there in a second.
Like the SAS, they are always the typical gear they are wearing is like a gas mask a lot.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
And maybe it's nice if you can add a mod that when you that there's a gas mask that when you put it on, it's actually changing your visual your interface to a gas mask that you're actually looking through it. You know.
Okay,
because
that sounds cool.
There's a mod that when you can actually hear yourself breathing through the gas mask.
Nice.
And yeah, I can send you that. Maybe look into it.
Sounds good. So these were like all the SUVs, 4x4s. Yeah. And then we get the vans, the small trucks and bigger trucks. Just going through them really fast now, even with the armed truck.
Yeah.
Then we get the biggest trucks over here.
Nice.
What else do we have? Helicopters. So from small to big, UE, some, I don't know, looks pretty Russian, but the concept of the helicopter itself was pretty Russian. So at least the name was Sikorsky. I'm not sure, was Sikorsky in America? Did he live in America? Or because he made the helicopters for the US Army, but I'm not sure if he was born there.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Got a civilian little bird with digital camo. Looks a bit rebellish. Looks cool. And then we got these big ass helicopters, so you can practically start your own airline with them.
Yeah.
And then we get the planes. First the Texan, which is a 2-seater, I believe. Yeah. Then we get the Sopwith Camel, World War I plane. Doesn't go too fast, but it's pretty funny to fly. It has machine guns on it, but they don't work, so that's good enough for civilians.
Yeah, exactly.
Then we have a water plane and a similar type of plane. I'm not sure what's called, an AN-2 AirTag, so another Russian plane.
Yeah.
Then we got 2 DC-9s, I believe, DC-3. So 2 smaller passenger planes. Should also be good to start an airline with. Then we get to the first Learjet type of plane, an ERJ-135. I think this one is only for cargo because it doesn't have any passenger seats on the inside. But the other one does. So I thought this one would be nice for smuggling drugs, for example, so that I increase the virtual inventory of this plane, make it a bit smaller than the passenger version.
Yeah.
Because the other one is a passenger version. So you can sit in the back here. You can fit a lot of people in there.
Yeah, nice.
You can fit like 30 people, I don't know, 40. And then we get the big ass jumbo jet kind of Russian plane. The Yak-42D. It's not like a jumbo jet, but it's like a regular passenger jet, like a 737 800 or something.
That's a nice one. I flew them already.
Okay, nice.
They're awesome, yeah.
Yeah, so this way you get a lot of choice as a civilian, you know. What kind of vehicle do you want? You want something cool, something fast? Do you want something to transport something with? Do you want a monster truck or a bike or 4x4 or a van or a truck? Or do you have a lot of money to buy a big truck? Or do you have almost no money but you still want a truck and you have to buy the crappy Russian one?
Yeah.
There's a lot of choice there. So that's basically all the civilian stuff. Let's go back to the map for a second because you had a suggestion about the SES and the gas mask.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe there's also some gas mask in the mod. I'm not sure.
Could be. I don't know.
But it would be nice, like if they can gear themselves like they are the only one with gas grenades, and they can
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, so the
military up against rebels. Maybe they're stealing weapons.
Yeah, exactly.
Inside the warehouse, and they can throw a gas grenade in and enter the building. You know.
Yeah. So the military. The idea is that the military have, or the military police has flashbangs. Then once you rank up to a higher rank, you also get to use grenades, but those are only in like certain circumstances. You can't just throw grenades at civilians, for example. It's just RDM.
Yeah.
So that way you already have flashbangs and grenades, and then it would be cool for the SES. That's these guys over here to get like gas grenades.
The gas grenades, yeah.
Yeah, and gas masks.
Cool.
And this guy is so cool. He's eating a lollipop. He really doesn't give a crap.
Most of the times they would be operating by themselves then, because then they would be the only one with the gas mask in the shop for them.
What do you mean?
Like if the SAS is getting a task, they would be operating by themselves, because if the officers are coming with them without a gas mask, they are getting gas as well.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I was already thinking about spies and special operations and that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Let's see if I have the map in here, in this computer. Otherwise, I can show you the map a little bit, give you an impression of the east and the west. It's already running on the server, by the way. So if you want, you just have to download the repo and then you can hop on the server. Civilian slots haven't been whitelisted yet, but the army faction has, the Blue 4 faction, which is normally police on live servers. Then I reintroduced the Op 4 faction for the rebels, so you also have to be whitelisted for that. And then there's the medics, that's the independent slot, and then you got civilians.
Yeah, right.
So this is.
And are you running the terrain with Arma terrain pack or cup?
For the client side, you can use Cup Terrain's core, but for the server side, I still need all-in Arma Terrains pack because of the Australian map requires a couple of add-ons from all-in Arma Terrain.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But version 5 is going to be released soon, and then I'm pretty sure you won't have to use an all-in Arma Terrain pack anymore. I think Aussie has fixed that already. So what you can see here is the map. On the map, basically everything you see is working, so everything in the cities is working. Tasmania, that's where you start. It's a small island on the right bottom. That's where you start out, have to make enough money, get a boat to Melbourne, for example. Let's just... then we got the wall over here. These are 2 walls in the middle of the island, running from north to south, with 4 checkpoints. So, let me show you this. This is probably the longest wall somebody has ever made in Arma. This is 40 kilometers of wall.
That's huge.
Yep. With 4 checkpoints.
I think it's generated, maybe.
What do you mean, generated?
Maybe they have some kind of type that generates the wall for them.
No, I've put everything in there by hand.
Oh, you did it?
Yeah.
Whoa. Holy shit.
I've created these walls myself. Not too long, because I did it after the Eden editor update came out. I once built a wall of like 4 kilometers with MCC editor in SUSE. It took me like 3 days or something to build like a 4 kilometer wall. And then with after the Eden update came out with the 3D editor you're currently looking at, it took me like 8 hours.
All right.
To build a wall from north to south, or 2 of them actually, with 4 checkpoints, and there's a minefield in between. So here you can see the mines.
Yeah.
There's still a chance you can run through them, but probably have to increase the amount of mines. But the idea is that you get to the army checkpoint, you drive over here. If there's somebody over there, they will walk up to you, open the bar gate. You have to stop over here. You maybe have to sign a contract. They maybe want to search your vehicle before you go in there. There are some signs that are telling you that there's danger, that you're leaving the army side.
Yeah.
And there's also a couple of signs that tell you to be careful with going into the minefield.
And for the medical system, are you using ACE for it?
Yeah, I've tried to implement it already, but I got to like 80%, and I couldn't figure out the last 20%. So I thought, okay, let's just move on to the next thing that really has to be done right now, because the default medical stuff already works. So I thought, okay, let's just leave that out for now and get back to it.
Yeah, exactly.
So this is the rebel checkpoint. They will probably ask you to sign a contract if you come over here to pick cocaine. You can also see signs on their side that are warning you you're leaving like the Soviet side of the island.
Yeah.
Then we get these 2 walls. Like the 2 of them is like 40 kilometers in total. You go all the way to the other side of the island. There's like 6 kilometers between each checkpoint. So there's a lot of patrolling to do over here.
Exactly.
I mean, look at how long it takes before I get to this next checkpoint. Basically, all the roads running from east to west are covered this way. It's only 4 of them, so. Oh yeah, we almost get to the forward operating base. That's at Pine Gap. You can see the minefield is even broader over here. And this is also where we have the Federal Reserve in this big white dome, closest to the wall. This is the Army's forward operating base, so this is where this will be protected 24/7, or should be protected 24/7, because you have the Federal Reserve over here. And it's pretty easy for rebels and civilians to fly into the territory with helicopters and land there and try to rob it. So I thought this would be a nice place for it. And then this wall goes even further to Checkpoint Charlie. So the first one was Alpha, the second one Bravo. We got Charlie over here. Thought it'd be appropriate. Checkpoint Charlie. There are some vulnerabilities in the wall, by the way, but if you get over it, you still have to go through a minefield, and then you also have to find another vulnerability on the other side that you can jump over. So it's a bit of a risky business, and if somebody sees you entering that territory illegally, you can get shot, so just so you know. There we go, over to Checkpoint Delta. So that's basically all the checkpoints and the walls running from sea to sea. Then we have the Army base in Sydney. As you can see, there's already a lot of shops and everything in Sydney. Let's load some textures. Just go around it a little bit to get some FPS back. So you can enter the Army base from 2 sides. If you come in from the northwest, you probably have to be careful in this corner over here, because if you go around this corner too fast, which people normally do, you might crash into the checkpoint, or into the entrance, I should say. So this entrance is normally heavily guarded together with the other one, because this is the HQ, Sydney. This is where most stuff will probably go on. And as a civilian, this is currently the only place where you can sell your drugs. So if you want to sell your drugs, you have to go to the Army HQ and sell it over here. Give me 1 second. Hey. There you are. I didn't see you poke. Yeah. So, sorry about that.
No problem. Yeah, my internet dropped out.
Oh, okay. No worries. So what I'm showing you now is the Army base, the Army HQ. And you can approach it from 2 sides, from Sydney itself, or from the other side.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to be careful with this corner over here. If you approach this base too fast and you go around the corner too fast, then you crash into the entrance of the Army HQ. It's always heavily guarded, so this is probably one of the most populated points on the map, Sydney.
Oh yeah, it's the main city.
Yeah, and as a civilian, this is the only place at the moment where you can sell your drugs. So if you want to sell your drugs, you have to sell it to the Army. to the son of the president, since it's all corrupt, you know, and the dictator makes his money by drug trade.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what the rebels are fighting against. The rebels are making money by selling weapons to civilians.
Like Putin style.
Yeah, more like I don't know, some tropical island, you know. It's it's like if
corrupt.
Yeah, it's like
money out of drugs, Putin style.
Yeah, it's like if Pablo Escobar ever became president.
Yeah, exactly.
So they can spawn helicopters over here. They got the garage over here. They got the garage for the vehicles. They got an army shop, and inside inside the big white dome, we got some more stuff. There's also a drop point over here, so if you have to deliver something to drop point number 2, then you have to go inside the army base to deliver your package.
Yeah.
Then we got some machines over here in the middle of the dome. I want to actually make them usable for processing, so that you can bring your raw cocaine or heroin or, you know, other stuff over here, process it, and directly sell it to the dealer against the price, of course. And then we got Donnie De Silva over here, president's son, who will happily buy drugs. And this is the army HQ. The rebels have a sort like HQ. Oh, hey Five, what's up? We got somebody in the channel from another very cool Australia live server. It's called Revolution. Have you ever played it by any chance?
Revolution Gaming?
Yeah?
Yeah, I've heard of it.
Okay, yeah. It's really cool. Everybody should check it out. I think they're currently having some maintenance, but that only means the server is going to be even cooler.
Mm-hmm.
So here in Altis.XYZ, we also have the Rebel HQ, because they're their own separate faction, of course.
Yeah.
They got this big base right behind them, which makes it even more awesome for them. And it's also right next to the airfield. This is in Darwin. This is on the northwest side of the island.
And you also have encrypted every object you've placed by, like, they cannot take any damage? Like walls and stuff, or?
The walls automatically have it, I believe. And I did do it for the bar gates. So if you drive into a bar gate, you can still, it's Arma, you know, it's a bit glitchy, so you can sometimes drive through it halfway or get stuck in it, that sort of stuff. But they shouldn't be able to break.
Destroyed. Yeah,
it should be that way. But it's Arma, so you never know.
Yeah.
So this is Army or the Rebel HQ. They got sword-like bases over here in the middle of the desert.
Mm-hmm.
So it's on another access road to the west. It's like their forward operating base, like the army has in the east.
Yes.
Well, only it's a bit further west of the wall. And then there's the outpost in Perth. Let's see. So here we have the rebel outpost in Perth. I checked with Aussie, and this is still going to be like a grass field, so that's nice in version 5. So I don't have to move this one probably. Yeah, and all the stuff you see in the map, all the shops and everything, they all work. So
yeah, nice.
I've already added a lot of scripts. If you go to Altis.XYZ, you go to the development section, then there's a changelog and a roadmap, and there you can see what scripts I've already implemented. And what stuff I still want to implement. So if you have any suggestions, just go to the comments or suggestion section and feel free to add it. And if you have any suggestions for mods, you can also drop them over there, and then I'll definitely consider it. And then I'll let you know if I will add it to the roadmap or not. If I don't, I will probably give you a good reason for it. Yeah, we got the go-kart stuff. We got the jails, the prisons. I actually started building a new prison on Kings Island, which is just northwest of Tasmania.
Oh yeah. And where's the island that you spawn on?
That's Tasmania. So you start out in Tasmania, and then you have to make enough money to buy the Australian passport. So you can also just buy a boat and go to Australia, but if the army finds you, then they can deport you back to Tasmania.
Yeah, exactly.
And there's already a prison on the island, or there's already a lot of prisons, but there's one like...
main one.
Yeah, there's Supermax, so it's highly secured. For some reason, it was saving my game. I thought Arma didn't want to listen, but so there's already Supermax prison, and Supermax is like really well defended, so you don't just go in there and bust somebody out if it's properly guarded. But I actually want to make a prison which is even harder to break into, and something with a bit of a military touch, like Guantanamo Bay, for example. So we can send the real terrorists over there, mass murderers, those kind of people. And I already started working on it, and it's going to be here on Kings Island. So it's a sort of an Australian Alcatraz. But I got it on my other computer, so I can show it to you right now.
Mm-hmm.
So you start out over here, this small island, which is still pretty big. It's still the size of Stratus or something. Then you spawn over here, next to this construction building. So these police buildings are going to say MP or military police. These signs.
Yeah.
And then you start over here. You have to go get a car, get some gear. Then you can get some apples or peaches, or you can go mine copper or do some other basic stuff to make enough money for your passport. And at the same time, rebels in the army can go over here to recruit people. And gangs. So if a gang comes up to you on this island, they could say, you know what, I'm going to give you your, how much is it again? 250k, I believe. Yeah, it's 250k for the passport. So somebody can come over to you and make you an offer to pay for your passport if you come work for them, in Australia itself. They might even give you a helicopter ride. You could also have smugglers. So as a gang, you could smuggle people, for money to Australia in your helicopter. So yeah, that's basically that. It's basically a showcase for now, I guess.
Yeah, nice.
Maybe we can showcase. Yeah, maybe I'm just going to showcase the army and civilian stuff. Yeah, let's run through the army one more time. If you don't feel like it, feel free to leave at any time. But just for the people at home who are watching the stream.
I think I'm gonna get some coffee and a smoke real quick.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I might have a small break myself. Be back in like 5 to 10 minutes.
Yeah, me too.
All right, man. See you in a bit.
Okay, yeah.
Right, welcome back. So I was just about to showcase what we have for the Australian map, especially for the military faction, which replaces the police faction. I already showcased it earlier to iPopper, who's also in TeamSpeak. He's having a small break, having a cigarette, cup of coffee. So I did the same. Here we have the first guys. This is the military police. So the first branch of the army, the lowest rank, is the military police. This is actually the lowest rank guy. He's private. Then we have corporal. No, wait, that's specialist. And this is the corporal. They've got the proper berets. So this is the actual beret of the Australian military police. I'm not sure if these are the correct weapons, but I just wanted to make sure that these guys are not like heavier equipped than civilians can be. As a private, you can start out with these Land Rovers till you become a specialist. You get these black police cars. Might have to slap MP on the side, so retexture it a little bit. They also get the Hunter over here without a HMG or GMG on the top. And you might think, what the hell is this? Well, you can raise the ladder over there, and then you can extend it, so you can drop guys off in the building or over a wall, that sort of stuff. So thought that'd be pretty cool. So that's for the specialists. And when you rank up to corporal, you get the Lambo, the Interceptor, which also has to be retextured. Texture. And this one is a bit weird, by the way. So that has to be retextured, so it says MP. Maybe the same thing goes for the uniforms, by the way. And they also get a boat, 2 helicopters. So after you've successfully done your work as a corporal with the military police, you've collected like all or most of these vehicles, then you get to become a sergeant. Once you're a sergeant, you get to the Air Force. You can buy your first helicopters, get some new gear, better weapons. They all have the Australian flag, of course. These guys look pretty cool. They get nice weapons. They don't have weapons with vehicles on them yet. They do have the right berets. So these are the Australian Army aviation berets. But this is the Air Force. Hey, welcome back, man. So if the military police gets in a situation and needs some help, they call the Air Force for backup. These guys get some awesome helicopters. Nicely textured, by the way. A couple of Black Hawks, including one with guns inside. But sergeants know how to use these, so it shouldn't be a problem for them. So this is like the first vehicle they get with a weapon on it. Then once they successfully ranked up from sergeant to master sergeant, they join the airborne. These guys look really sick in my opinion. This is the 2nd Cavalry, so that's an actual regiment from the Australian Army. As you can see in the back, it says 2nd Cav, and it's a nice kangaroo. Makes them even more Australian, of course. They get the first vehicles with weapons on them. They also have the appropriate berets. They got some cool gear. They get some nice weapons. They got this Land Rover with a 50 cal. Team leader can shoot from the car, together with this guy, of course. Then we get the Hunter HMG and the GMG. They get 2 more helicopters because they are airborne, so they have to jump out of anything. That's perfectly okay. And then once you've ranked up from Master Sergeant to Command Sergeant Major, you get a beret with 2nd Cav logo in gold. Get some more cool gear. And you get more vehicles, so these are the first fix with big guns on them. And a kangaroo, of course. You got Angry Birds over there. This is a Bull Rider. We got Adrenaline Rush. And what's the last one over here called? I think these are actual names from vehicles, by the way. Recon Redneck. So some nice names for the Vics. They get 2 Chinooks, or they get to buy 2 Chinooks. Also with some nice weaponry on the side.
I got one question about the passport.
Yeah, sure.
You're an immigrant. Is there actually like a government place where you need to buy it on the island?
Yeah, you can buy it at the license shop. So maybe that should be something like I don't know, some government building. But right now it's just a license shop where you can buy it. So this is the Airborne. Once you've successfully ranked up from Command Sergeant, Major to Captain, you get to join the Spec Ops. Spec Ops got even more cool gear with a lot of textures on them. They are the Tech Ops team. They get more cool weapons, etc. They get Jackals with the L2A1 and with GMG, both in green and in sand color. Then you get some more cool Vics with nice textures on them. So these guys look pretty badass. And these are the guys, the Spec Ops are the first guys to get helicopters with guns and rockets on them. So if you see these guys flying around, they know they shouldn't be just shooting civilians with them. They won't be using them unless they have a very, very good reason for it. So don't worry about that too much. As you can see, these choppers have really nice textures. And once again, the white is still my favorite. You can see the gear matches the helicopter, which is also cool. Then we get the Hueys, the Wildcats. There's one passenger version, there's one with a bunch of missiles and a machine gun. Then we have this one with only rockets on it. So that's the Spec Ops, and if the Spec Ops need any help, who do they call? That would be Spec Ops support. So these guys are the SAS, and the Special Operations Engineering Regiment is Spec Ops support. That's these guys over here. They got their own gear, they get their own weapons, get better night vision, etc. They get to eat more lollipops because they're cooler. This guy's so cool, he doesn't even need a lollipop. SOER also has the right beret, of course, the official SOER beret. They get an Apache to fly around with. They get a bunch of Harriers, all with different loadouts. And they get the F-35s, JSFs. Also, they have the C-130s. One in black and one in camo. And they get the C-17A3, which also needs a bit of retexturing. Slap up the Australian flag there. So this is a Spec Ops support. These guys come to help commandos if they have some issues. And if these guys get in trouble and they have no way to get out of it, they call the 1st Commando Regiment. Another actual Australian commando regiment. So this is them. I believe they also had a kangaroo. Oh no, it's an Australian flag on the helmet. And they get even more cool cars. This is a Colonel. Badass Colonel. Gets to buy some cool tanks. A lot of sweet textures on it. So if you see one of these tanks rolling around, you know, it's just not any random private going around to shoot civilians. It's probably there for a good reason. You get more helicopters with missiles, more armed helicopters with great textures, a couple of orcas, Hueys. You get a couple of ghost dogs with awesome textures. This guy over here is the highest rank in the army till this point for any regular soldier. This is the Brigadier General. He gets to buy all this stuff, including the Osprey. And then there is the President. So he's the General of the army, together with the General, who is the Vice President. They form like the presidential team, so they will basically control what anybody will do who's in the army. These guys are the presidential guards. They are handpicked, so they are even ranked higher than the first commandos. So only they can buy their gear. They are handpicked by the president, so this is also not just some random private running around. The president and the vice president can be recognized by their golden AKs and also golden Desert Eagles. Looks pretty pimpish, but it's a good way to recognize them together with the berets and suits and everything. The president and the vice president have their own presidential convoy. As you can see by the presidential guards in the cars. Get some 50 cals, some miniguns in the top. Looks pretty awesome. And then there's a Marine one for the president. It still says United States of America and with an American flag, so that needs to be retextured. But yeah, that's about it. And there's a lot of guns. I'm not going over them all again. But there's a lot of them, so just to give you a really quick glance. You got a bunch of rifles. You got some launchers, which are only for the higher ranked army officers and rebel officers. It's a collection of AKs, including the gold one, which might be reserved to the president, so you can easily recognize them. We get some shotties, grenade launchers. And there's more rifles, more rifles, more rifles. I mean, more machine guns. Assault rifles. You get some heavy machine guns over here. And then there's a couple more in the boxes over there. Already showed them, so probably have to rewatch the stream if you want to see these. Then we have some scopes over here. Some lasers, silencers. And these are the handguns for civilians, together with some SMGs. We got a Uzi, we got a Scorpio, we got two MP5s, one with the SD. We got a bunch of handguns, so this is basically the stuff civilians can buy at the handgun store. And if they want more, so if they want any of these, they will have to go buy them from the rebels directly. So that also encourages roleplay with the rebels. And if you're not friendly with them, or if they've blacklisted you from that territory, it becomes even more. It becomes even harder to buy them. On the other end, if you are fighting the rebels and you are supporting the army, then you might be able to buy some weapons from the army. Who knows? It's still one corrupt, big narco state over here, so rules are there to be bended. To some aspect. On the other end, we need very tight server rules over here. So yeah, that's it for now. This showcase. iPopper, did you have any questions? Any chance?
I don't think so. You sorted it out clearly, and
all right. Okay, awesome. Fine. Nice. Well, if you have any questions or if you want to know anything, feel free to let me know in the forums. And well, you know where to find me, but everybody else, just drop a message on the forum if you have suggestions, questions.
At the engine website, right? From
exactly. So if you go to if you use Altis.XYZ, then you're automatically forwarded to the right address.
All right.
All right. Well, guys, thanks for joining, and if you have any questions, you know where to find me. I hope to see you next time.